Just just a quick reminder, the next competition will be on February the 5th. If everything goes well, in person and Zoom. The topic is people, excuse me, the theme is people. It will be digital only, and the deadline for the images is January the 29th. In March, we're doing our first of the 3 print only competitions this year. That will be on March 4th at the Sewell Mill Library. The theme is negative space. Again, it will be print only, but your digital files will be due in on February the 26th. And closer to time, I'll send out reminders about, you know, what all you have to do for the prints. But tonight we are doing our general competition, which is kind of an opportunity for all of the photographers to pull out, you know, their best of shots. And we are honored to have Janet Newton here with us as a judge. She is the vice president of the Sweetwater Camera Club. She's a local photographer who's well known and has presented to us before and judged our competitions before, and we're thrilled that she was willing to come back and do it again. So I will let her give more of an introduction, and then we'll start with the novice. So Janet, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Uh-oh. How long do we have? Let's just say I'm a real busy person. Been retired for 13, 14 years. And all I do is photography, gardening, photography, more gardening. And I do that 12 months out of the year. I've been with Sweetwater Camera Club. When I first retired the first year, I was going nuts and I said, oh, I got to do something. And I found them, and they're literally 4 miles from my house. And so I started going there. So for 8 years, I was the president of Sweetwater. Last year, I became vice president. This year, we're going to do something different. I've sort of changed it up, and we're going to do more in-house teaching and learning from all of our advanced. It's actually going to be a team effort. So they're going to do a lot of learning this year, and next year we'll go back to doing something different. I'm also in, I don't know, most of you I've seen, we've done the shootout before in the past. I've always been involved in the shootout, except for the last, I guess, since 2020 or 2021. I don't even know what they're doing now. If anyone knows, let me know. But I did it here in Douglasville. Gosh, I started looking in the other day. I went, it has been 8 years ago when I handled the shootout here in Douglasville. We had 175 people. Is there anybody in the group that's in GNPA? Yeah. Georgia Nature Photographers? Mm-hmm. A few of you. I'm also on the board for GNPA. And if you're familiar with their expo that they do, oh, good. We're having another shootout. I just completed the entire expo for Jekyll Island. And if you are on that, or if you're not, you can look up the GNPA website on the front page. And the information is save the date for April 11th. And it's going to be amazing. I will tell you that because I did it. So hopefully now there'll be, it's going to be very interesting. Just curious, and I'm real curious about this. If y'all could just show me with your hands, how many people have heard of a gentleman called, his name is Tony Sweet? Okay, about half of you. In this event that I'm working on, GNPA, it's our 15th year, and we're going to actually do a contest. You have to be there, but there's going to be 5 different categories, and it's all about Georgia on my mind. And there'll be 15 winners, and they will actually get a half day with Tony Sweet. But if you had to hire him today, you're talking over $1,000. So we've got him coming in, and 15 lucky winners are going to get a half day workshop with Tony. And we also have a lady by the name of Lisa Langell, and she will be there also. So if you're interested, check it out. And I'll be there. Also here in Deville. And anywhere else anybody drags me to.
Great. Well, excuse me. Thank you for the intro and for the information. We're now going to turn it over to Anand. I think he's on here somewhere.
Okay.
And he will share the photos. What we do is kind of let him do a walkthrough and show all the photos quickly so everybody can see what is being considered. And then he'll go through it slowly, Janet, and give you an opportunity to say something about each photo. Once you've done that, then he'll announce the winning photos.
Okay, by group or at the end?
By group. So we'll go
Okay.
through the novice photos first.
Okay.
And then, give those
Wonderful.
winners, then the monochrome, then take a break, and then finish up with color.
Color. Okay. Sounds wonderful.
So, Anand,
Can you
are
hear me?
you ready to share your screen and take over?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Awesome. I will kill my camera.
Can you hear me, Laura?
Yeah,
Hello?
you're
Okay,
kind
we
of
can hear you.
low, but
Okay. Yeah, I would prefer to be low. Yeah. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So welcoming Sharif Udi Prize, Blue Mosque. Judge, I'm going by the novice category. Tennessee River Sunset. Bubbly enjoyment in Old Town Prague. Sky and water at the spa, Budapest. Reflections of yesterday. Tree in fall. Judge, if you can start commenting on each of these in reverse order, I'm going to go now. So you can start providing your comments.
Okay. Starting with the tree and fall?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very beautiful picture. I love the colors on this. I like how you got close on it. I see this a lot because I take a lot of tree pictures. The only suggestion that I would make on this is it's a little soft on the right and a little soft on the left. You could crop that in, and it's beautiful. So one thing that I do want to say is anything that I bring up tonight, I've actually done it myself on the pictures, and I have studied them from every corner, from top left to bottom right. This one is very sharp in the middle, but it is just a bit soft on the right and the left. But if you bring that in, just crop it off, put your hands up there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That middle is gorgeous, really pretty. Okay. All right, reflections of yesterday. Really nice reflections in here, especially the bottom right of this picture. I've searched this over. I've cropped it a million different ways. I think the excuse me.
Philos, is it possible to mute everyone? Philos, is it possible to mute everyone except Judge?
Would you mind going back to that tree picture real quick? Because someone made a comment. I just wanted to say this. Yes, I understand the trees are curved, but if this is what you're going to submit, look at it. And if you're going to, put a vignette on it, that's fine. But in this particular picture that I see, if you take it and you crop that right side out and a little bit of that left-hand side, you've got a gorgeous, sharp picture in the middle. And I would actually hang that up in my house. It's that pretty because my entire living room is cedar and it looks like a little cedar picture, the color of that middle. But okay, let's go back to the water. On this one here again, the first part I saw is there's, of course there's going to be this white light from the light. And so you see it up there at the top. And I know, oh, can you see my mouse at all? No? I guess it's yours.
No.
Okay, so up at the top, on the top left, there is all that white. So that was the first thing that I saw, correct. And then I saw this over here on the right-hand side of the picture of some more little white glitter up there. Then I saw the curve that's in this water. And then I saw this beautiful reflection down at the bottom. So looking at this, I did 2 crops on it. I took the top of it out where the sparkles are. I left the first curve in here on the left-hand side. And then I did another one. And what really excited me was to do sort of like a pano. I got rid of all the top and the bottom, the entire bottom. I went across and got just the left-hand side out where those white is. If you can show that part right over here on the, yes. So crop it right in front of there, go all the way across. I crop for the picture. And if you try that, whoever this picture is, you will see a wow picture on that. It just comes out and you see all those beautiful colors down there in the bottom right. A nice shot. Okay, sky and water at the spa, that is a lot of people. I started counting and I lost count. There was so many people, but it's perfect. One thing that I did notice, it is very, very straight. I did check that on probably any picture that had a building in it or anything that needed to be straight. This is a very straight. Every line in this picture is spot on perfect. Nice cloud in the sky, the beautiful yellow it's up against, all the people in there. The only thing that I would have done probably is, and I wasn't there, I don't know, but I would have brought it down just a little bit below that bench on the bottom right. And it would have taken a little bit of the sky out, but not much. And that's a really nice shot. A special shot. Nice job. Bubbly enjoyment in Old Town Prague. This is just, it looks like a picture perfect of this little girl and the other one running, but that little girl is just, it is gorgeous. And I love all the bubbles in the street. I love how she's standing. I even went in here and thought about it. Should there maybe take out the right-hand side, take out some of the top? You have a couple different shots in here. You can do just her, and you'll have her in all the bubbles. And it's a really nice picture. And just the only thing I would bring up the shadows just a bit, and that's really about it. The only funny thing that I want to say is yesterday was Bubble Day, National Bubble Day. So I got a kick out of it when I saw it. All right, next. All right, a nice sunset, really pretty sky. This is, I was thinking that if you had stepped back a little bit more, you would get more at the bottom, but there might be something there. So you've got a little bit of the land, which is nice. There's a little too much contrast in the trees. So it's popping out. If you're zoomed in, it's really, you can see the contrast in it. I can see it from here, and I'm on a small laptop right now. I would have probably checked on that a little bit more. And I guess the main thing here with me is this tree in the top left-hand corner. Yes, that one there, just, I covered up, and I'm like, I wish I could just cut that tree down, or possibly move a little bit more to the right, or take it out. It just seems like I need to see that view, but nice shot. Blue mosque. I really like this picture. It's a, they positioned it perfect. I took this picture in and I went, okay, what would I do with this picture? First, I decided I wouldn't do anything with this picture. It was really nice. And then I kept looking at it more than probably 3 or 4 times, and I added some contrast on it, and I went, wow. And that's when it gave me that wow factor. A little bit more than my first wow, but very nice and beautiful. I love the blue, I love everything about it. Very nice shot. Mr. Woody, welcoming Sheriff Woody Price. Now, somebody went to Disney World and didn't call me and let me know. He's a little famous in my house, and I really like this little guy here. It looks like just a very fun time. Hold on, I got a pop-up that came up that I got to get rid of. And he is, it's just pretty much you're out there, you're at the parade, and you grab the shot. Now, can you do something different? Probably you may have just taken one shot, but if you had taken some before, about 2 steps back, you would have had his head right there in the sky and not the light fixture right behind him. Correct. And if you go behind over here where this gentleman is standing, we've cut this little child off in the middle on the left-hand side. So if you move between the gentleman and the mint shirt, that aqua shirt, and the lady, I probably would have cropped it right there. I looked at quite a few different places to remove that, mainly because the child is cut in half. So that my eye went right there because he's walking that way, and I went, oh. So try not to cut anybody in half, or get somewhere where you can crop it and still have your picture. But nice little guy right there. Okay.
Now I'll share the winning pictures.
So I believe we're doing 2 honorable mentions and then the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, correct?
Correct. Yes, that's right. So, honorable mention, Reflections of Yesterday by Lori Mitchum. Honorable mention, Bubbly Enjoyment in Old Town Prague by Joyce Harrison. 3rd, Tree in Fall by Lori Mitchum. Second, Blue Mask by Joy Rogers. In first place, Sky and Water at the Spa by Joyce Harrison.
Congratulations, everybody.
Joyce, you are there?
She might be on mute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear
Oh,
you.
okay. Well, thank you for enjoying this picture. I was on a river cruise, and that was our
Wow.
final destination. And it was a public spa, but the weather, the lack of bright sunlight and all that, just, I don't know, it just really struck me. And I agree with what you said about having that bench a little more in there would have been nice. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. I started counting all those people, but I
Congratulations.
really lost count. There's a lot of people in that spa.
And the building is full inside too.
Oh, really? Wow.
Room after room of different temperature spas.
Wow. That's beautiful. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Now on to monochrome.
Okay, so let me open monochrome fonts. Okay.
Just a little bit of information while we're waiting on him. I hear some high winds out in my backyard now, up here in Ackworth.
Wow.
Curving grace. Playing with smoke. Mac. Alia. Charleston Trolley. Giraffe 3D. Birdseed on Envy. A long way down. Winterset. Sorry. Fence Post Blues. Rules of composition. Biplane pilot. Summer dance. It is lonely at it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top. Sorry. Point Vedra Beach. Godzilla. Full flaps. Small square stone on a ledge in a waterfall. Arbor woman. Trio. Windows. Ice Moon. Friendship Bridge. I've got this. Lonely Beach. Take off. Phantasm. Sunset Sky Monster. Virginia's Sunday Glow. Virginia's Dresser Set. On Eagle's Wings. Okay, Judge, you can start.
All right, we're on Eagle's Wings first.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting the way the eagle's flying. Very different, unusual, nice. I love the angle. It's very different than normal any other eagle that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of them. There might be a filter or something on the back of it. I looked at this for a while, and I went in, and I just went in on Windows, and went in there, and I put a little contrast on the background, and it made the eagle pop out more, like there was a little bit more movement coming out. So you can see a little bit of the gray going around there and a little bit of the edge. But when I made that a little bit darker, it really made that eagle pop even more. But very, very interesting shot. Miss Virginia's Dresser Set. Looks like it might be in a little studio, and took Miss Virginia's stuff. Now, I think you probably should have played with it a little bit more. Like the brush is touching the mirror end at the end. I would have maybe separated the comb maybe. I would have maybe loved to have seen Virginia's face in that mirror, or the eyes or something. The coloring is very nice, the way that you did this. I guess the only thing that really got me was the hair on the brush. I probably would have taken that off before I took the picture, because it's so clean and crisp. A very nice shot. But I wanted to see a little bit more on this, a little bit more interest to it, and maybe not covering up so much of the comb or bringing it forward. Very nice, the 3 articles that you did choose. I would just work it a little bit more. And this is probably her glove. And I looked at the coloring on this, and everything was really, really subtle, very nice. Maybe fix the fingers a little bit different, especially that 3rd one up there. It's got the little indenture. Everything else, the shadows look very nice at the bottom of it. I think it was the fingers that look a little wonky to me. If you could just play with that a little bit more. It almost looks like she's holding like a cup of tea maybe, and it's got that little finger out, but very nice. The monster in the sky, before I even looked at titles, I usually look at it and say, what do I see? I first saw something different, and then when I saw that, I went, I see the monster. And you could crop off a little bit on the left, but if you go in this, who this belongs to, and hit the contrast on this picture, that white pops out as if it's like there's a beam of light going into that monster's face, and you will see a big difference on it. It's a little, just a little bit flat there, but when you put that contrast on it, that blacks and the whites come out just like he's about to attack you. That's a good shot. Phantasm, it's a scary looking tree. I like trees like this. I I would, the coloring looks very nice. I think one thing, I like the white on the background, but I think I would come in a little bit on the front side of this tree. And this would be some tedious work, but you would go in there and use your Dodge tool and lighten up some of that on the front to make it look a little bit wider, because the front's a little bit flat. So if you bring that out, it's almost like you're doing almost like an Ansel Adams look on it, but this would be a really good shot to work on. There's a real bright spot right in the dead center. You could cover that up a little bit, but I would go in on that moss and just highlight it just a little bit to give it a little bit more 3D effect. Nice find though. This is Takeoff. I really enjoyed this picture, looking at it, and I felt too that it was a little bit, the coloring is nice. And I started thinking, did you want it to look like this? And I looked at it a little bit different. I looked at it with showing a little bit more of the blacks in there, a little bit of contrast. And when I did, this is another one that just popped out. It's like I said, wow, when I put that contrast on there. But it's a very nice, easy picture to look at. And I think somebody would love to have that one in their house for sure. The Lonely Beach. I stared at this one. I like the high key in here. I'm not really sure what was on the beach. I would like to know after the fact. It's either rocks, bubbles, or seashells. Very nice effect though, when you look at this. And the gentleman that's got his jeans pulled up, walking in the water, the reflection, holding his shoes, looking off to the side. I think what really got this, because he was looking and they captured it at that time. Usually you just see the back, but this is a very interesting picture. All right, I've got this. This was on my bucket list for a long time, and every time I see pictures like this, I'm like, no, don't think so. But wow, you must have told this young lady to make sure she looked at you at that very second when you were going to snap that picture. But all I can say is, wow, that you were right on it. It was perfect timing. I would try popping the water just a touch. Just bring the brightness up, and you're going to go wow on this picture too. But nice shot with this lady looking directly at the camera. Probably one of the only ones I've ever seen looking right at the camera. So you got a good one. All right. I'm not sure where this is. It might be that H down in going to Jekyll, but I'm not sure. Friendship Bridge. Very nice black and white, like the starburst, the lights from the car, the lines bringing you into the top of the bridge. I stared at this for a long time and I went, there's something that's doing something to my brain. And I looked at it and I went, oh, I know what it is. And so I did it and I went, it was just little. And I think I even wrote it down. Hold on, I just want to tell you, I don't know what I did with it. Oh yeah, I did. That bridge, okay, 2.6 degrees, I moved it. And because I think it's, even though where you're standing at, if you would take this picture and just tilt it just a hair, nice shot. And I hope you try that. Eyes on you, yeah. This little guy here, I see the nice color, nice black and white, nice background. I'm glad you got the bottom of the mouth in there, and you got the head, the ears are right there. It's the left side that's catching my eye. I keep looking over there like, what is it? What is it? So I took it and I cropped it in, and I said, okay, well, once I cropped it I cropped it on the left, I cropped it on the right, and I went, okay, now that's a wow picture. I know you're trying to get every hair of that lion in, but because you got this on the left, if you can't get rid of it and that lion's not going to get up and move for you, we know that, then just look at it a few different ways. And I did. I cropped just into the face. I cropped above the ears. I cropped it from the bottom. I cropped this like 4 or 5 different ways. I went, all it needed was a little bit off on the left and a little bit off the right. Spot on. All right, I'm a window nut, which I take a lot of pictures of a lot of things, but I do like windows. This is very nice. It looks like it might be, I like the shadow of the lamp. And of course, there's 5 windows here. I like how you thought about this, of where to place this. The lines are straight, windows are straight. It looks like there's maybe an effect, almost like a pencil drawing. Another one on this, I looked at it this way and I went, okay, it looked a little flat too. And I went, let me put a little bit of contrast on there. It was a wow when you put that contrast. It just really made it come out at me. And so please try that on this picture if you would, because this could be a really nice shot. Okay, I'm ready. All right, this is trio. Got 3 guys. How perfect to find this walking down an alley or along, I guess that's the way their streets are, somewhere, wherever you may be. Even the 3 little clouds in the top, the tall buildings, the gentlemen are separated. They do not intersect anywhere. Just a really nice shot. I like the crop on it, and it's long and exciting to see. And you get down there at the bottom, and that's where all the action is. And these guys walking down, I don't know where they're going, but I'd follow them. Pretty nice. Okay, I guess it's arbor. How do you say this? Arbor woman? I'm not sure. We'll tell me that later. This one gives you that impact of the wow factor. Her eyes, just, she keeps looking at me. I keep looking at her. Her lips are amazing. Just the teeth, the way they are, everything is the color in this, the blacks and the grays and the whites, very sharp. Just from her hair to the scarf that's around her to her necklace underneath her neck. So this is a very interesting. I love the crop on this too. You don't have to have the whole thing. You're going into, you want me to see what you see, and I definitely see it. Great shot. Yes, amazing eyes. I agree with you. All right, so I looked at this picture and I'm like, okay, I knew there was water. I knew it was going down the bricks or the sidewalk or something, and see a little square down there, and you put it in the right spot according to this picture, and you've even threw the waterfall in there, so I knew it was water. And so I looked at this, and I came back to this quite a few times, and I did some cropping on this too, and got rid of the white up at the top, and even turned it a little bit, and it's a little smooth in there of the water, like not frozen water, but you've got maybe a touch of a long exposure, not sure. but it's just a nice black and white shot. Full flaps, nice title. I like how you captured it right before it landed on the water, wings spread out. Detail in the wings, nice coloration of the blacks and the grays and the whites. I maybe go in there and pop that eye a little bit just to make it just so I can, they always say, look at the eye. So I zoomed in on that eye and I thought, oh, if we just had a little bit more in there, that would have really stood out. I even cropped out the top of that and just kept the bar, the gray bar on there. And I'm sure you probably made that decision. I probably would have looked at it quite a few times and do I want to keep it? Do I want to take it out? It actually works both ways. The feathers are gorgeous. And I personally liked it with the top out because my eye kept going up there thinking, I don't know why, but I just, I liked it a little bit more of taking that top out and leaving the gray bar sort of to border that pelican. But that was a nice capture. All right, Mr. Lizard the Godzilla. Nice when you capture these little guys somewhere and you got it on like an old painted white door, I guess. It is just a hair off of being straight. It looks like it is on the right, but it's actually not. I think maybe because you might have been shooting a little to the left. It's just a hair that needs to be, and then pop that contrast on that lizard so you get that good black and white view back and forth, and you will have it. I love capturing those out in my backyard. Okay, very nice beach scene. Big and broad. I studied this one for a while too, and I'm always thinking, if it was my picture, what would I do? Sometimes I would say, not a thing. I did see a few things that I would test and I would try, and then I would decide what I would do. I love the three, I guess they're old trees in the water. I went in there and I took the right-hand side out. And I felt a little bit more of the scene than all this empty space on the right-hand side. It's still nice the way it is, but I personally liked it with it gone. If you look above the smallest one in there, you see that? If you put your arrow on there for me, go straight up into the sky. Right there, down below. There's a little, I think there might be some dust in the camera. There's a little circle. Just go straight down, right there. Yeah, right there. That took my eye right to it. So that might be, you just might want to check that. I zoomed in just to see, was it rain back there? Because it does look like we're about to have a rain. I would probably put a little bit of shadow in make it sort of, because the clouds are gorgeous. Put some, you could burn some of the shadows in there very light. And I think that would be a wow factor on this picture. But nice. And I like the little line going in there. Everything's nice shot. All right, this reminds me of something that I saw like on the internet under Ansel Adams from years back or something. I'm not sure. I guess I'm assuming, of course, these are people, but you don't really know what they are when you zoom in. It's an unusual look when you zoom in on them. There's a bright little white light over on the right side. I guess two people standing there. I don't know what that is, but it's a bright light, like a flash or something. I don't really know. Couldn't figure that one out, why it would be so white, unless he's wearing a white hat, but I don't think so. I probably would have worked this a little more with the grays and the put some more deeper shadows in there, but this gives me this this feel of like on another planet almost. And I really like it. But I think too, it says at the top, make sure that when you do turn this in, I did capture a few of the titles, like this one should say lonely and not what it says. And the its should be fixed, but that's just a minor thing. But anytime you enter something, always double check, triple check everything you do. But this is a very interesting picture. Okay, we might be out somewhere, maybe at the Olympic Park possibly, or somewhere, I do not know, but they do have those fountains out there. Got a lot of silhouettes in here. And then this is something else that, because that sun was so bright, take your shadows down, or put your contrast up, take your shadows down a little bit. I tell you, it'll be a complete different picture because they'll all be silhouettes and it looks really good. You don't need to see anything on these people because of that hot sun. And if you go up in the top left on this picture, and you're standing in a good place, it looks like you're shooting low too. So I like that you got down and you shot low. There is a few places up there on the top left that's got some, in your camera, you got some dust up there. So if you can go that top left and show them. Pardon? Yeah, right up there. You got three, there's 3 spots up there, 1, 2, and then one up at the top. Maybe another one, it's hard to tell from here. But I know it's been a while since anybody's been out there cleaning cameras. I know I got to get mine clean too, but that's one thing you could at least, if you see it, it's real simple to take out. So always check those, check your pictures from corner to corner. And this one here too, you might have wanted to even crop a little hair off that left-hand side where that water is. So you're not right. Not to cut the little boy off, but if you cut that, then that would have been very cool. Okay, next one. All right, Amelia Earhart, maybe. Biplane pilot. Nice setup. I like doing things like this myself. She looks very like she's thinking of where she's going to be flying, what she's going to do. I like the view of her face. I like the scarf. I like the difference in that. If you notice down and below, the highlights of below her and then above her, if you bring your highlights down, it changes this picture a lot and it looks very nice. The other thing when you're shooting, of course, you want to at least back her up, and because you got her hand behind that wire and her head behind the wire, and I would, I'd probably move her back a little bit, or you move a little to the right, but I would not have her hand behind it. I think it would be a nicer effect if it wasn't there, because I keep looking at it, and I would rather look at her and the feeling that she's given me of what she's looking at towards the sky. Okay. All right, this is called Rules of Composition. I like this, the way this was set up, how you took the picture. I looked at this too for a long time, studying this, and I like the feel of it. I think it might have a filter on it. It's sort of like a soft feel, but even if it's not a filter, it's still the nice feel. It's not like the real super duper sharp picture. There's something on there. There's a couple things that I saw here. First of all, I was curious about the circle at the bottom right-hand side. If there could have been a little bit more of that, there may not have been, but I'm just looking at it to see, well, if I was shooting this, would there be more of it over there? I love the tree. I love the building in the back. The left-hand side, though, right there on where the black window is, the first window that's cut right there. Where the little bar is across the window, I went in there and I cropped and took that out, and it made a big difference in this picture because it sort of balanced it a little bit more. So just try it. You may like it, you may not, but when I did it a few times, that's what I came upon that I thought looked better on this picture than leaving a part of that door or that window that's right there. And I know this is a nitpick thing, but I'm a nitpicker. But down on the left-hand side, where that trash can is, there is a piece of trash on the ground. And this picture is so clean, I would have went in there and just touched that little guy out of there. And like I said, I'm sorry. I kept looking. It's like, what is that? So T-Tiny, get that baby out. Okay. All right. This is Fence Post Blues. Wasn't sure about the title, but I looked at this and I tell you, I know you put it in it's like a sepia look instead of a black and white. And I like that. I would have moved it up a little bit. I would have taken the whole bottom out and left a little bit of that dirt road. And I'll tell you why. Number one, you didn't get the bottom of the post anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But if you move it up and keep a little bit of the road, you won't have so much of that glare of the bottom in your face. So then you just have a little bit. If you cover it up with your hand right now, you'll see what I'm talking about. So go right below that third hole of the post on the left, correct? Like just a little bit below that and straight across. And then if you put some contrast on it, your wood will pop out and your horse will get black. And then you see, because you're framing that horse in between those two posts. Now, if you had moved in just a little bit more, possibly, I wasn't there, so I don't know if it could have happened or not. To get that shot in there, it probably would have taken out most of the bottom, but to get the entire horse between the wood, you could have framed it, just the whole bottom part of it and use that. I use a lot of things to frame other things, and I think it's very interesting when you do that. But you don't want to cut off the horse. The only other thing you could have done is jumped over that fence and took it on the right side, which that probably wouldn't do that either. But that's what I saw on that one. Okay, this one was called Winter Set, I believe. This really chilled me, as it should. It looks like the water is all ice to me, just the way you process this picture. It's very nice with the birds and the snow on the ground, the white buildings. I promise you, it is tilted just a hair. So you need to straighten that up just a little bit. And then I would go in there and darken where the water is. And when you do, you're going to go, wow, because that middle part is a little bit sort of flat. Just darken it up a hair, I promise you. And then make a Christmas card out of that. And Merry Christmas to it. Happy holidays. Let it snow, whatever you want to do. But that's a nice shot. Okay, this is I looked at this and I kept looking straight down where he or she wanted me to look at, right down the middle of this. Perfect down there with the flooring, the lighting, the blacks, the grays, the whites, just nice and even. And I just think it was a nice job. Dead center. There's not much I can say of this except for you did a great job. I love, and it's not blurry or anything. I mean, it's very, very sharp all the way down to that floor. I know I zoomed in. Okay. All right, these two birds. Now I'm a big birder, and I sit at my window. I honestly 7 days a week, and I'm looking at birds, taking pictures of birds. I love the background on this. I love what you did on the front. It might be seeds that you've got all the way down there. That's a pretty cool idea. I have not tried that at my house, but I do have a lot of birds on my property. And you shot them perfectly. The wing is beautiful of that bird on the left, and they're feeding each other or wanting to be fed. I just think it's a little bit overly processed or filtered or something that was put on here, but it's still a beautiful picture. Maybe go back in and pull it back a little bit and see if you have a different feel. But when you zoom in on it, you can tell a lot. When you stand way back, you can't. But like I said, I look at every corner of every picture all the way down to the eyes, and it's still nice. I even like the little feet coming out underneath the bird, but nice job on that, and I like your background a lot. Okay, well, Mr. Giraffe, just, what can you say about a giraffe? They're just the coolest, funniest looking animals on earth, and their ears and their face and their facial expressions, and you did it perfect. Another nice background, just like the one before. I like it dead center. I like how you cropped it. You did it. I think this might be a square, so that's a good one. The only tiny thing that I see here, there's just one tiny thing on this. If you go down to the neck below the left ear, there's a little smudge right there. Cover it up, it's done. 100%, frame it, mat it, and put it on the wall. Nice job. All right, the trolley in, I would probably say Charleston since it's on the side. Nice, this would be like really nice for a brochure for them. Maybe it's a little flat, need to pop that contrast, and the blacks will pop out and brighten it up. Go to the brightness. So brightness and a little contrast, and you're going to see a big difference. It's almost like a 3D effect. So like right here, to me, it just feels flat, but if you do that, it will actually pop out, and you're going to go, wow, that's another good shot. So keep that up. You got everything in there. Trees are nice in the back. Just the placement's nice. Nice job. All right. I think her name is Miss. It's over there somewhere, but I can't see it. I love these guys, all on them, and you try and capture it. I like the beads on her face and under her eyes. I like all about it. What the coloring looks good. I think I don't know. The white part above her right eye, above that eyebrow, is just a little too white for me. I hope my internet's not about to go. Something just popped. And if you go to the top of her hair, either crop it off or put all of it in there. But it just seems like the lines of the coils of what they're using for the hair, it just goes out and it stops. It's like I want to see what the top of her hair looks like, because I love the braiding on this. The bottom right too, as you follow down the braid on the her left hand, our right hand side, down here at the bottom, the little jewel that's wrapped around your hair. I would like to see the bottom of it and then her hair again, to give that space right there. And I don't know if you posed her. If you did, it's a nice pose for her. I think, and I'm real picky when I get doing things like this, and I'm shooting photographs like this. The hair on her right hand side, I just feel like her ear is stuck out there. I would pull that hair in and leave, to bring it behind her. That's the only thing I see on that right hand side of her face where her ear is. Besides that, I love the look of her. Very nice. Okay. All right, this is Mac, I believe. I studied this guy for a while. I will say he's got a very cool bow tie. I like the coloring of it. I like the black and white, just everything about it. I like how his head is tilted. I love the line up there on his forehead. I think you captured him well and how he's looking at you. The only part that I would play with and work, I would do a couple things to think about. His hand doesn't look natural to me, the way it's posed. I took this picture, and you can try this. Go in there and crop right above his hand, straight across, and you're going to see him. When I look at this picture right now, I'm studying that ring in his hand, but I want to study his eyes and his look and the way he's turned. I did two things. I went right above his hand, cropped it straight across, and then a second crop, I took part of that hat out and had just a little bit of the gray or the white part up above him because he's got that black right here. And I cut most of that off, and you're going to see a whole different feel of this picture. And I think you'll like it if you try that. All right, playing with smoke. All right, not sure what you're holding of what smoke, if it's just one of those little incense, trying to let it go through. Probably, played with that for a while. And I don't know if you're left-handed, that you took it with your left hand, how you did this. But now your fingers are a little bit soft. Your thumb is fairly sharp, right around the thumb area, but the other part, not with the smoke, but just the finger part, excuse me, looks a little soft on my side. It's very interesting. I would work on it some more and maybe turn your fingers up and see if the smoke will come out of the top tips of your fingers. But it's interesting. I like smoke shots, so that might be something I have to try one day. Okay. All right. I don't know if I told y'all all the types of pictures I shoot, but practically everything I've seen tonight. I do everything. I can't think of anything I don't shoot, but I do shoot a lot of cars. This beautiful vehicle right here, I thought it was really pretty. It's clean. I think possibly you put a background in, I'm not really sure, but I do see, like, on the front of this car, there's some more. It was probably a highlight, and whatever the background was used, it got into your highlight. But besides that, that's not a big deal. But what I thought was that it's too much to the right. So I went in there and I cropped underneath the silver, not even put the reflection in there, but I left the right-hand side like it was, the top like it was, and cropped it behind the back of I think it's a duck, isn't it? Behind that, and brought it up. I tell you what, it was beautiful when I did that. Just give it a try and see what you think, and you may like it, and you might think I'm crazy. But that's what I liked it a little bit different than the way it was shot. Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
I'll announce the winners now.
Okay, while Anon is getting ready to show the winners, I just wanted to make a comment. We had something different happen this month. We had a lot of photos in monochrome and color, and the judge had a really hard time just selecting two of the images for honorable mention. So we do have 3 honorable mentions for monochrome and color this competition. First time we've done that in a while, but it's also the first time we've had so many photos and so many just gorgeous photos. So
I agree.
Iman will be showing one more photo in each category than we're used to seeing. So
Well, I will say this, everybody. I had to twist Laura's arm just a little bit because I said, look, there's so many beautiful pictures in here that y'all have done a fabulous job. And I said, there will be people that will shake their head and say, why not me? And there is so many. I mean, I really had to do a lot of detail on a lot of pictures to weigh this out. This was not easy. I spent all day Friday, all day, most of yesterday and this morning working on your pictures. So even when I went back, you know how it is, you've probably heard before, oh, tomorrow if the judge did again, they would pick different pictures. How many people have heard that before? Nobody? I've heard it. I've heard it forever.
oh yes.
I will tell you, when I went back and every time I looked at him over and over again, I kept picking the same ones. And I went, so I never changed my mind. And you know how women are, we change our mind all the time, but I really enjoyed all of your pictures and I congratulate all of you for what you've done. I was very impressed by the amount of pictures that were put in and the work that you did to put the pictures in. So thank you all.
Thank you, Janet. Anon, it's back to you now.
Okay. Honorable mention. I've got this by Charlie Stanford. Honorable mention, Giraffe 3D by Michael Birnbaum. Honorable mention, A Long Way Down by Ben Moritz. In third place, A Lonely Beach by Jeff Westland. In second place, Trio by Phyllis Westland. And in first place, Arbor Woman by Paul Schimek. Paul, if you're there, if you can provide some commentary regards this photo.
Yes, this woman is in the Arbor tribe of the Omo Valley of Ethiopia. And I shot her with her permission. She was at the entrance of her hut, which made for the black background. And I used a silver reflector to illuminate her face. Handheld it was about f11, 100mm lens. And I did crop it pretty much because the original was a head and shoulders shot. So I thank you very much. I'm honored that it was selected.
It's beautiful. I love her lips. Her lips are amazing, and I can see you in her eyes. They're so sharp.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah, I didn't know it was you, but you can see it's a very sharp picture, and it's beautiful. This needs to be like in a magazine, like on the front of a magazine somewhere. I would be looking into that definitely. It's a beautiful shot.
Thank you.
Is this your
Congratulations,
first time
Paul.
submitting this in a contest?
I'm sorry, what?
Is this your first time submitting her into a contest?
Yes.
I would be looking for a lot more.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Congratulations, Paul.
Yep. Congratulations, everyone. If we will take a quick 5-minute break, and then we will finish.
No, we
Pardon?
appreciate all your commentary. It's very useful.
Anon, if you're back, let's go ahead and get going with color, please.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, starting from first picture here, letting go.
Did somebody remember to start the recording? They
Yes.
turned,
Yes.
okay. I knew they turned it off. I didn't know they'd turned it back on. Okay.
Thank you. Letting go. Ghost ride. Yellow velvet beetle. Misfit toy. Passion. Royalty. Split rock lighthouse. Runs on horsepower. Garden lily. Black hole express. Hair. Heavenly fern. Saw blade. Heading out. In plain air. Stone Mountain grist mill. Wash and dry. Morning on the canal. Crater Lake. Old City Fort Walls. The Heartland. Golden Pond. Easy Riders Utah. Scuffle. New York, New York. Toasted. Newborn covered with mother's milk. The payment. Eruption. The struggle. The magic of the forest. I am watching you. Baja sunrise. Squabbling plains. Island sunrise. Iguazu Falls. Old mail car. Judge, you can provide commentary.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Old mail car. I think everybody has this shot, which is a very cool one at the Railroad Museum, I believe. Love the colors, all the greens and the wood, and it's a little bit soft at the top, but the floor is very sharp. So maybe your spot was on the floor versus the top part. It's nice and cropped nice where you've got the left on the side and the right on the side even. So you're looking straight down and it's just like bookends. So that's a good thing to do. This is an advanced group, I believe, right? Yes. So I know you can't move things, which sometimes I do, but whatever this is in the bottom right-hand corner just sort of took my eye off of it. Yeah. Maybe that could have been just taken out, and I look at it to where if that was not there, because it's just a piece of it, it's just a minor thing, but it may look good with it being gone, or either a little bit more of it. And like I said, the top part is a little bit soft, maybe a little bit more of, I'm not really sure what everybody has in your group, if you have Photoshop or you just have Windows, or if you have Apple. I know everybody has got something different, but it does look, you may have had a long shot on it because you have a little bit of a starburst in both of them. See, I didn't even notice that earlier, unless it's just the way it happened. But either way, it's a good shot. It's a nice shot, and it's a great place to go. And it draws your eye, leading line straight to the back of where it wants you to. And then you start looking around. It's like, look at all those letters in there. Somebody needs to get the mail. But it's a good shot, and I think you did a nice job. The falls, I believe this was, it's two countries, I think. One's on one side, one's on the other. It is really, the water is nice. I feel like I'm standing there looking at this happen. And it almost real. It's so beautiful, which I know it's real. But it's really a nice shot. I like all the mist going down on the rocks on the bottom. The sky looks nice. The water on the right-hand side, the mist going out. Nothing is blown out. Everything is spot on. You've got, it's nice containment on the left with the trees. Just a excellent shot. Nice job. Island sunrise. All right. I look right at probably the golden hour, because you got that beautiful golden sky in there. But I kept looking at this, and I'm like, I wanted something different about it, and I started thinking, what would I do? So I of course I looked at it and downloaded it, and you see where the sky, the little cloud is on the right-hand side? Now, trust me, I'm a little bit crazy, but not crazy, but I want you to try this. So whoever this belongs to, crop it right above it, take all the gold out, come across, and take out a little bit of the foreground, and then that tree and that sunset is right in your face. And it's like, that's what they want me to see. And just so you know, I do see the shrimp boat up there in the between the tree limbs. So point that out too, so they see that right there. So there's a nice little framework that you added in there. I think because, it's small, but if you bring the other, like a pano, that comes out, the tree is right there for you. And you don't have to walk so far to get to it. But I'm really, it's a great shot. And I do love the gold up there. I just wanted to see you still will get the gold in there, but not so much up in there. That's what I mean. And take out some of the bottom. That's it. Nice capture. I love how you waited for that shrimp boat to be right there too. All right, there's those squabbling cranes. They love doing this, don't they? It almost looks like that one on the right is about to do a foot kick right in the chest of the one on the left. They're always squawking and fighting and carrying on. But I love the whole scene, the background, and this is probably, since I heard y'all go to the where the cranes are up there in above Chattanooga, right? No, yeah, Chattanooga. This looks like the field. It may or may not be, I don't know, but it's a nice capture of these two cranes looking at each other, the wings out, all around, nice shot, nice blur in the background. Everything's focused in the front. Nice shot. All right, Baja Sunrise, another beautiful shot. I love the silhouette. I love the black and the color of the water and the sunset. The sun is gone. The sun's down below, and then you got the right at the blue hour with the blue sky, and you've got green and yellow and orange. Everything is just perfect. The gentlemen that are on the rock, the guy that's in the front, wow. The two guys on the top with that guy right there. The two guys on the top with the tripod. They both have a tripod. Nice. Now, I kept looking at this thinking, how would this look if the other three were gone? You got if you go down to the middle there, behind the gentleman standing, you've got two that are intersecting. You got the tip of someone's head, and then you got the half of a body up there. I just think this is such a great picture. I would spend my time taking them out if you know how to do that, or if you wanted to. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But I think that would be an amazing shot. You got three up there. The blacks look great. The color looks great. That's what I would do with this shot. And I would spend some time doing it. All right. You know, I just want to say one thing. Can you go back just for a hair? I'm sorry. Would I do it? Nope, I wouldn't do it. I would take them out. All right. I'm watching you. And yes, you are. I looked at this again for a long time. I like the old. I love the old, and which I like everything. I like the lace, the old timey curtains that are in there. The cat peeking through there. It's like, what timing for this photographer to be standing there and that cat looking or sitting there looking right at you. It's like a one of a million kind of shot. And it's just a little bit of the curtain swayed out, and the colors are gorgeous. The window, it's just very nice capture on this one. Love the little kitten. Okay, Magic of the Forest. At first, when I looked at this, I thought there was an alligator in this shot. And the more I looked at it, if you look down at the bottom left, those little dots on that tree, it's not, it's just a tree. But it did look like one from a distance. My first thought about it. I think you might want to go back in and take your saturation down. I did it and I went, wow. Then I had a wow shot. Then you had a wow shot. Take this to get all that gold out of there and the green in the trees, just bring it down a little bit. And I even thought something else that you should try and do is flip it to a black and white. It's a really cool shot. But right now, I think you just have a little too much saturation, and work on this one and don't let it go. Bring it down and flip it to that black and white. That's what I would do. Okay, I think this one's called Struggle. I struggled with this for a while, and I I noticed a couple things. I zoomed in on the hands because I couldn't figure out, like, I think they might be praying, but it was like, it wasn't clean and clear to where I could see it because they're doing such a good job at this. Yeah, see, they're holding each other, but it's in the middle, and he's holding part of the bread. The plate is in her arm. The table is, maybe that's the only table they have, but I would have pulled that back a little bit and had a little bit more of the scene of them praying. That can you zoom in back on his face if you don't mind? Yeah. I think hers is perfect the way she is. There's a little bit too much light on her, just on the forehead, and a little bit on him too. I think he needs to come down a little bit because he's got a shine on the nose and the hairs in the eyes. I just need a little bit more light in there. And then I kept looking at it more and I went, are they struggling that they can't light the candle? So let's go back out to the full picture. This would be in a different look if you had a candle, that candle lit, because it's been lit, and had a little bit more of a glow to them. Does that make any sense? That what I'm saying is to have that fire glow on them, bring the light down a little bit. That's just what I would work on. And I would definitely pull that bread tray back and get it out of the middle, because your eye goes right into the middle. And now I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And they're holding hands, but they're praying, but he's already grabbing that bread. He's ready to eat because he's hungry. So, okay. All right. I think, what is this called? Explosion? I can't see it from here. It's covered up.
It is eruption. Eruption.
Sorry? Eruption.
Yeah.
Yes. This is what I call impact. When I open this picture, I will tell you my eyelashes almost melted. I felt the heat off this picture. I felt like I was there, like, oh my gosh, run. I see the lava coming down. The sky is gorgeous. Just the whole feel of the picture makes you feel either to run or really just, sometimes you got to be there. And I don't know what it feels like to take a shot of a volcano or something like that, or the lava, but this made me feel like I just took that shot. And that's the feel I like. All right, one day I might do that, but I would like to know how far away you were when you took this picture. So afterwards. Okay, nice shot. Okay, so here is, I think it's called payment. And then up on the top left, I can't read the title because it's covered. So if you could call it back out for me.
Payment. Yeah, payment. The payment.
Okay. Yeah, I can only see like the last three letters on my side. This is another one I studied because I want the story. And when you first look at it, you're like, okay, so he's collected some money, and he's got. I have that actual same knife he has, believe it or not. I zoomed in and looked at this bag. Was that, it must be his little money bag that he's carrying. The scales, and he has this very small wine glass, and he's a big gentleman. Some money on the table. And he's got the faux fur going on. At first I didn't like it, and the more I looked at it, I liked it. And I wanted to go in there and mess his hair up a little bit. He seems like he's very neat and clean, maybe because he's got so much money, he can do all that. I wanted to see a little bit more, like maybe money on the scales, and maybe him holding the money, picking the money up. you know, why is the knife there? Is he a dangerous guy? I don't know. I kept thinking all these things about this guy, and then I'm looking at his eyes. I think if I'm picking up a cup, I would be looking at the cup before I take a sip of it. And he's got it there. It's almost like maybe he was said freeze, and then someone took a shot. But I think his eyes are in the wrong location. Might want to mute her. So I just think that you know, I don't know, is he a good guy, or is he is he like the guy going around taking people's money? It was sort of hard to tell in this picture. I wanted to know, I wanted to feel it. I wanted a smirk on his face, or I wanted or him counting the money. I just wanted a little bit more than the setup. Okay. So that's what I thought about this picture here. Okay. So go ahead and tell me that title again.
Yeah, it's newborn covered with mother's milk.
Right. I like how you framed the baby around mother, or in underneath mother. So that's a great thing to do. I don't want to be ugly about this, but I wish you'd given me another title. That's all. I don't think you have to explain it, even though I see the white. I didn't know that, but it doesn't matter. I think it's a gorgeous shot. Now, one thing that I would like, if you could do this, go in there and put a little bit of contrast. I think I put contrast on this. Let me think. Yes. And when I did, all those little wrinkles around the eyes, and the eye got a little bit blacker. And I know they're not super dark, but it just gave a little bit more feel that this was a real true elephant under here, underneath mama. And it's a beautiful shot. But that was the feel that I had of this. But I do like what you did, and I think that was a very smart move of how you framed the little baby. Nice job.
Toasted.
Okay. Let's roast some marshmallows, which I just did this recently, and it is so much fun if you like s'mores. So I felt like somebody heard me talk about it. I don't know, but I looked at this and I went, okay, what's the theme of this picture? It's a roast in a marshmallow, but then we have all these coals and we got all this grass back here. I took this picture and I got rid of the left. I cropped it almost dead center, and right above the little grass that's down here that's burning. You see that? Just to get that hot orange down below, way down. Down. Yeah, see that grass right there? So I cropped it right above it. I took the grass out, but I went right above to the rock where the orange is. And I did a portrait picture of that. And now it got rid of all that stuff on the left. And now you're feeling the coals. They're just like the lava. You're feeling the heat on this coal with this marshmallow. And it could, because it's closer into your face. You're looking at it more. You see it's like, wow. And, when I see this picture, I'm looking all around. I'm looking at the coals. I'm like, okay, well, that's a lot of coals. Let's move it in. Let's get it a little bit closer. It could have even looked really good, a little bit on fire, brought it a little bit closer into the red, took all that green out. I mean, you could play with that forever. That's a fun shot there. I now want one. All right, I think this is New York, New York. All right, so that is a busy looking town. It almost looks like it's a deserted town, but it's very interesting. All the lights, the blue in the sky. And looking at the, I forgot what they call it, but the lights that go up, I do know that they go up so high you couldn't get that all that in the picture. Is like 4 miles up in the sky or something. So it is cut off, but I think you're trying to get the feel of New York, and that's in the background. And there's a little bit of clouds out there on the right. The color, I was thinking, and I don't know if this color purple in here, which I heard that movie just came out the other day, but the purple on this tall building, is that really the color of that? I thought that was interesting. If it is, I've never been there, so I do not know. So, but it's a very busy, interesting from the beginning all the way to the bridge in the back. Very interesting picture. It should be a puzzle. This should be a puzzle. Nice job. Oh,
Scuffle.
yes. I'm sure we've been in that a time or two. I don't think I'd want to be right there. That looks like a mean situation. It looks mean, but I guarantee you they're probably going to say, oh, they were playing. So I don't know. I would like to know after the fact, but that looks like a face. And I tell you, I did look at this picture and I even cropped in. Okay. Thank you for that message. I even cropped in just the heads of the bears, and that's even a more scary picture because that's all you see is their face, up the nose, the teeth, and he really needs to go to the dentist. But wow, that's a good shot, and I'm glad you've got it, and I'm glad I wasn't standing right there, but one day I will be. So good for you for getting that. And I love the eyes on the bear, if you can see that. Oh, okay. That made me sad. Somebody just posted a message. Okay. So now we're at the, I can't read it, but it's the
Easy Riders, Utah.
Easy Riders. Yeah. I think, I don't know where they are, somewhere, maybe Utah. Yeah, Utah. I was going to say maybe Utah, and that's where they're at. 4 riders. The photographer did a perfect thing by getting that first rider right between the signs. It would have been a whole different story if you got him behind the pole. Everybody knows that. So you waited and shot it right then and there. Nice shot. I think when I look at this, I love the yellow coming out on the signs. And then I'm like, okay, I've had to study this quite a few times because I see the foreground is sort of dark. We got some shadow from the motorcycles, and then we got a real bright middle section, which makes the motorcycles come out real good. But then we have this dark sky at the top, and it just looks a little different to me. I don't know why, but it's just a little bit different. I think it's just the coloration. Maybe there's a storm coming or something, but very interesting to have that blue sky like that and the way those clouds look. A lot of gray in there. So maybe there's a storm out there coming this way, but very interesting and a nice catch with these. I try and do this all the time too. I recently just did the same thing, catching motorcycles. I got a contest on motorcycles too, but this is cool. Good shot. All right.
Golden Pond.
On Golden Pond. This one here is the colors are great. Of course, the yellows and the blues, they always match. And when I looked at this, I went, okay, there's something in the middle. And here's the thing, if I have to zoom in to see what that is, let's just go ahead and fix it. So I took this picture and I left the blue in the front. I left the curve going around that and a little bit of the yellow. I got everything else out. And then I went, wow. And it's just, there is nothing you have to do with this picture except for do a slight crop. And when you do, you're going to see a big wow on it too. Because you can see the detail in the leaves in the middle, right there at that rock. So please look at that. But that's what I would do with this picture in a heartbeat.
The
Okay,
heartland.
now we're in the heartland. Another strange sky. I wonder if these skies came to the same place. Sort of resembles a big sky here compared to the one with the motorcycle guys. But I studied this again today, and it's like there is a big storm coming, because this side is all lit up. I see the shadows from the sun on the house that's back here on the right, just to the right of the white car. On the other one behind it, the barn that's here, I see all this light in here. Over on the all the ones here in the back, on the left-hand side, full of sun. But then you see these big clouds coming in this way, and nothing's covered up. So it's almost like you got all that dark back there, and then you got all the light up front, and the reflections in the water. And the one thing I would have attempted to do at the time, if I had been there with you, I would have said, make sure you get the top of that telephone pole. That to me would have made this picture, to have this big telephone pole right there in front of you, like a big cross. But that was a very interesting shot. Okay. All right, what is this called? Something walls?
Old city fort walls.
Okay. Nice place to stand to get the effect like this. The water's beautiful. Just the whole scene is sort of cool. If you look at it now, your wall is leaning back. And if I'm wrong that it's supposed to be leaning back, you please let me know. But to me, it looks like it's leaning back. So I took it today and straightened it up, and I went, oh, that looks good. Looks real good. But when I straightened it up, guess what happened? It cut off more of this little section up here that's on the wall, because the tip is cut off now. But maybe you were trying to save it. I'm not really sure. But when that wall comes up in straight, then you lose part of that up there. So maybe it could probably even be cropped in front of there, and you still get the scene. You're just not going to get that. Or you're doing it intentional, and once you fix it, it might even look better. So very interesting spot, because you do have a couple more down the wall. So there's one down in the middle, way at the tip. So maybe this one, if it's even cropped out, it would be okay if you bring it up, bring it straight, and then looked at it a little more, study it a little more. Okay. All right, Crater Lake. I've been in that same spot. You were there at a different time than me, though, because you actually have flowers blooming. And so, you can't take the trees that are behind you, because I know there's a lot of trees right there. You can't move them. But here's the thing. You got a lot of shadow going on. But to the left of the flowers and to the right. The scene back there is just, what a beautiful scene. And I started thinking, could you crop all of the bottom of it out and just keep a little of the flower, or about halfway of that bush that's right in front of our eye, dead center. So that's what I did. Because this whole bottom is not helping this picture that is so beautiful. So if you take the bottom of it out, what do you have left? You have beautiful. The shadows are not helping. So not for me. And then you get this little blurry effect of it, because there's something that's right there, I guess. I don't know. Like a limb or something. But go back in and take that picture and crop that out. And then you're going to have a little bit of the yellow, that beautiful blue, the beautiful mountain, and that beautiful sky. And there you go. But you got to, I think a lot of people, it's like you're not just working the scene when you're working on a picture out there taking it, but once you get your picture in, work the picture, change it different ways. You know, move it in, move it out. Did I crop it the correct way? Do I really want this in? Do I need to take it out? So that's the kind of things that I look at. Even in this picture, I sort of like the little green tree that's in the back on the right-hand side, but if you cropped it out and moved it right in front, I don't know. You don't want the middle tree to be in the dead center, but if you cut that one out, that'll be a little bit more to your right, and it might be you'd have to test it. Just try a few crops, and then if you see it, you're going to go, oh yeah, that's going to look a lot better. Okay, I'm ready.
Morning
All right.
on the canal.
What is it?
Morning on the canal.
Yes. I looked at this guy for a while and I went, okay, what do I see in this picture? I see a guy standing in a boat. I see a starburst more than I see anything in the boat. But then I saw these little colors of, you know, from the camera, whatever it is, up here on this building on the left-hand side. I went, ooh, that's sort of cool. So what would I do with this picture? Because I think it's a little dark. The starburst is okay, but that's all I see in this picture right now. So I went in there and I lightened it up a little bit. And then when I did, I went, wow. And another thing is that there's no sky. You know, don't you love those days you get somewhere and the sky just really looks horrible? So I went in there and cropped off the top of it and had just a little bit of it just to see what it looked like. It didn't look bad. I do like the feel of it, sort of like that trio picture that I saw. This sort of make to me the same thing, but I think it needs to be lighter in there so you can see him, because I don't think it's about the starburst. I think it's about him in the boat. So lighten that up and try and flip it to black and white and see what you think, because that's what I did. And I went, oh, so it didn't. The sky didn't bother me anymore when I flipped it to black and white. So just think about that one. Okay, I'm ready.
Wash
All right.
and dry.
Wash and dry. Before I even knew what that title was, I don't even remember seeing that title when I was looking at pictures. I kept looking at this and I went, okay, this looks like something I would do. But then I'm looking at it and I'm studying it and I went, wait a minute, this picture's upside down. Took me a minute, y'all. And so I flipped it around. I flipped it all the way over and I went, wow, now I see it. I couldn't see it as much this way as I could the other way. The colors are gorgeous. I like stuff like this, but I would definitely flip this picture and frame it. That's what I would do. So think about it. It's your call. It's your picture, but that's probably definitely what I do. But nice job, nice catch. Okay, next.
Stone Mountain gristmill.
Okay, this picture is a very nice fall scene from Stone Mountain. I went in there just to make sure that the cabin was straight, and it was. And I like the leading line going into the cabin. I like the colors. I looked at it a little bit closer, like I zoomed in on it, and I went, I think it might be a little saturated. So I took it down a notch, and I mean a notch. That was it. And I went, oh, okay. That's looking good. And then I took the highlights because this little wall right here, because when I looked at it, I wanted to see that the grist mill back here, but that wall was so bright. So I said, okay, let me take the highlights down. And then all of a sudden the white went away and I didn't have to squint my eyes anymore. I went, oh, okay, now we're talking. And you could even take the burn tool and maybe even just do a little sweep over it so it's not so bright. But when I did the highlights, it worked out fine. The only other thing is that there's something over here on the bottom right-hand side. You see that? Right there. Yeah. Now all the way to the right. It's in the picture right there. That whole thing right there. I don't know what that is, but I would have cloned it out, get that thing out of there. And the other thing, I would have went ahead and to make it easy and simple, if you had more of the tree on the left-hand side, that's up against the edge, not that one, the one to the left. Yeah, that one. That needs to go bye-bye. Crop it right in front of it. Because if you put your hand up there and you look, just like, okay, you got a nice tree with a little bit of curve. You got that grist mill. You got that leading line moving into it. And then I started thinking, do you even need this stuff on the right? So if you can't get that out, the simple way is crop it out. You could crop in front of that second tree, get it out, because your picture is, you got a little bit of the bridge, but you don't have the whole bridge. So think about it, you just got a piece of the bridge, because the main picture is the grist mill. So that's how I looked at it. And but I love fall pictures, and I love old grist mills and old barns. So good job on that.
In plain air.
In plain view,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's right. I looked at this, and the first thing I looked at was the lady painting. That's the first thing. I'm like, I'm studying what she's doing, and I went, wait a minute, she's got that building in. Oh, she's got the lady in it. Now, how cool is that? So it's a nice shot from where you're standing to see what she's painting and the lady in the background. I don't know if you noticed, there is a seagull on that first post. You probably did. That would have been cool. I actually zoomed in to see if you put it on that first post, but I don't think it was there. But she wasn't done painting, so maybe it was coming. Or maybe she didn't want to put it in there. But it was sort of a cool thing. When I looked, I went, wow, that's sort of cool. And then I thought, okay, I love rust and I love old buildings like this. I think what really was getting me was the end of this building, which is not really all that pretty, and the sky just wasn't working with you that day. But maybe crop that white part out. So that's what I did. I cropped it out and it made it even better. And I think I took the highlights down and the sky came in a little bit bluer. And because there's really not much more you could have done on that picture on that day at that moment and the sun coming in. But it was nice how she's painting the picture. So I love shots like this. Okay, good job. All right. This is a really nice blue in the sky, and this sunset was really shocking to me. It's like that beautiful blue sky, the blue hour kind of thing, and the shrimp boat going out. I thought there was, looking at it, and I messed with this picture. I did every single picture, to be honest with you. Even though I love that blue sky, I took it out right above the yellow and made the bottom into the third of the picture, and it looked like a pano, and I went, wow. You might want to look at that and see what you think. Because sometimes, even because I'm sure when you saw that, you're like, wow, that's a beautiful blue sky. And it is, but it's even more prettier because the orange in that other sky, it is what makes it pop with the blue. But when I took out the top, everything moved a little bit forward and I'm like, wow. So, and the shrimp boat's in a perfect place. The whole thing's a nice job. Nice job. Good catch. All
Saw
right,
blade, saw blade.
saw blade. So I like the angle on this. I think they really thought about what they were doing. They turned it, didn't have to be straight, didn't have to do all that. The nut on that saw blade is sharp as a tack. The colors are all perfect. The yellow and the orange, the gold, the blue, the purple, the angle of it, to me, it just all worked. So I think that is a really great job on this picture. I would say that needs to be in a magazine somewhere. Good job.
Heavenly fern.
Okay, guess what I grow in my backyard? I grow the ferns. I really studied this for a long time. I like what you have in the background. I like the type of fern this is. It's such a cool feel on the back of this fern. If you count from the bottom and go up to the third one, it is so sharp. That one right there. That is the sharp one of this entire picture. Now I tell you what I did. I took this picture, and the way it's sitting right now, and the tip is in the top left corner. If you take this picture and turn it this way, landscape, you're gonna go, wow. And it really does a whole different. I turned it all four ways. It worked somewhat to the right. I don't think it worked to the other way, but it worked when I turned it the other way. So I think you should try that. It gives it a curve, and the point of the fern goes into the left-hand side, and it looks a lot bigger. And what you see when you do turn it is you see that third fern right here, and it's really pretty. So that's a nice job on that one too.
Here.
Okay, so it's called hair. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Hair. Well, guess who's got some hair? Me. I got a lot of that stuff. Now, I don't know if you named it hair because of this, what you were trying to accomplish on this picture. I like the browns against the blue. I think she's a beautiful girl. The hand is coming out of the picture. And I think there should be more of that. You got to step back a little bit. And her hair, she's got beautiful hair, but when you're going to do something like that, you want to pick up that hair and you want to get that hair. Go look at those model magazines. That looks more like she's got a tangle and she's trying to get it out. And I don't know, and I'm not, saying this, but is that left eye, is she squinting because she's pulling her hair, or is her eye like that? If it is, it's okay. But I'm just saying that's what I see, like she's trying to get a tangle out of her hair. And that's what I would do too. That's how I would look. Well, she looks a lot better than I do, but that's what I would do. So think about all that. And you definitely don't want to, if this is about her hair, don't take the hand out of the picture. Keep that hand in there at all times. I would work on her again. She's really pretty. Okay, next.
Black
All right.
Bull Express.
Okay, so someone got real creative on me here. So I had to look at this. I went, okay, I like the spinning of the what does it use, it's not the SOS pads, it's the whatever you call it, spinning that, and then now you decided to put the train through it. Very creative. The more I looked at this, I liked the upper part. It's the bottom part that just didn't do it for me. but what I did, I went in there and I did a crop and I moved it up. And then I went, okay, let's think about it that way versus doing a reflection of it. This might have been done, I don't know, by the water, it looks like. So, but do you need that on the bottom? So check that one out again and move it up, and you might be able to use this picture for something else. But it's very creative.
Garden lily.
All right, so now you're talking my flowers here. The very pretty colors. Here's the thing, when you work with flower, there's so much around it, you know what I mean? So you could do some different things with this picture. You could twist it more to get rid of some of the extra stuff that's at the bottom. I did it that way. Another thing, if you could get rid of the top left corner of the green and make that black. Go in there and maybe just do this part of the flower and I did it above the stamen, straight over into where it goes into the flower, and then I came down and I got the bottom of it. And then I went, okay, now you got a close up. Instead of trying to fit all this in, don't fit it in, just get the part that's beautiful. The beautiful part is what's coming out of this flower. That's what you want to get. But keep working on these flowers. You'll see what I mean one day and you'll go, oh, because they are fun to photograph. Okay. All right.
Renaissance horseflowers.
Yes, it is. I used to have a Mustang here at the house. I went to school, and my school was called the Mustangs. So Mustangs are big in my house. I used to ride horses. I've never been on a Mustang. I don't think I want to be, but I used to be a cowgirl back in my few years ago, and did a lot of riding. But like I said, I also take a lot of pictures of cars. I think the color is a nice shot. I see the vignette you stuck around it. Now, here's the thing. Now, I don't know where you were. I don't know if it's your car, but here's the thing. When you take a picture of a beautiful Mustang, those tires better be clean and shiny. So, unless you're out there running dirt roads, but I don't think anybody would do that in a Mustang. So keep an eye on doing things like that. Now, if you would look at this and pretend like those tires were clean as a whistle and had a little cleaner on it, that would be a beautiful shot. But the dirty tire turned me off. And just because I'm a neat freak on cars, and I like Mustangs. So think about that when you take those cars again. Okay.
Split Rock Lighthouse.
Okay, a beautiful lighthouse. I would like to see this in my living room, maybe, because these are my colors. I love it's very cloudy. Everything is just right there. The colors are gorgeous. There's a little the light coming out is a nice touch. And if you took that when that light came out right then, good for you. That's a real good one. I know some people put lights in lighthouses, but it looks like it is real to me. There is a little bit of ghosting around the edge rock. So you might want to go back and check that. You fix that. This is a killer shot right here. But that is a beautiful color of a lighthouse too. The whole thing is really pretty. So, and is very detailed, very sharp. all the way up to the lighthouse. Trust me, I zoomed all the way into the windows. I looked in the windows. That's how sharp they were. So, okay. And I like the space you put in front of the lighthouse too, by the way. Right there at the bottom where the rocks are. So you didn't cut it too close. You gave it enough space right there. So that's a nice job. Sorry about that.
Royalty.
Royalty. I love her hair, and when they do their hair like this and make the color. I did that one time with mine just a year ago, believe it or not, but it looks very cool. And I take a lot of pictures like this. Just a few things. I tell you what I see. I'll tell you what I really want to see. I want to see her. What I see is this earring laying on her shoulder. Now, it's my personal opinion, not everybody's, but if she's going to wear an earring like that, you got to make sure she brings those shoulders down and that earring is hanging, because it just doesn't look right to me. It could be a fabulous shot, but that to me, I would have had put something else on it, moved her shoulder down. There's a little bit of one of her braids coming down. See the one down there on the right? I would have brought her hair more. I would have liked to have seen her hair there instead of an earring that looks like it's, you know, I would have done, I don't know, I would have worked this one a little bit different. The other thing, there's, I think maybe, I was trying to think if there was another one. No, the other two were straight on. If it was a profile of her, might look different. There's a little, in my opinion, the light underneath her eye is too white. It's on her nose, too white. And then if you look over at her right eye, can you put the arrow? It's right, her other eye. That one. See the eyelid? The white right there on the eyelid. No, to the right. Yeah, see that right there? That's not makeup. That's the light from the flash. Maybe do a profile of her, because I think this would be a beautiful profile picture of her. Get some really cool earring on her and do that shot down the road, because I think you have people coming up, right? You're doing a people contest down the road. That's what I would like to see it, because the left eye is sharp, the right eye it's all blurry. So twist her. That's what I see. Okay, next.
Passion.
Okay. Another two little lovebirds, I guess. Married, I would assume, or I'm not sure.
Ford got 22 now.
I don't know what that was. So they may have, I don't think they just got married because she's wearing red. Maybe they're out on the town and they got their picture taken. Trying to always, you know, when you're looking at something, it's like, where were they? What are they doing? Kind of thing. I studied this for a while. A few things with this picture. It needs to be straightened. If you've got a white line over there on the left, so you got to take that white line and straighten that line, and then it comes over. She comes up a little bit straighter, even though he's tilted. He's tilting anyways. So it looks to me, and this is my opinion as a woman, that this man sort of came up behind her almost, and she's just like, you know, I've never seen a pose where they put their hand on her chest like that. His left hand are spread apart. Like when you look at that, I see this. That's what I see. His right hand is jumbled over there underneath her arm. Her hands are spread apart. I that's what I studied on this shot. I think when I zoomed in, I know his eyes are open only because I saw his right eye in the shot. Looking at this picture, it looks like he's blinking. You can't see his eye, but I know it's open because I was concerned. Did they shoot it right at the time he blinked? But can you zoom in on his face for me? That'd be okay. Keep on zooming. Okay. So, but you can barely see, it looks like his eyes closed, but it looks like on the other side, his eyelash is up a little bit. So I guess it's either, I'm not really sure if it's open or closed, but to me, when I first saw that, he's looking down, I understand, but he's also, I don't see his eye. I want to see his eye. And I also want his ear cleaned. So you see his ear while we're standing here? When you do people like this, you got to get those little things out of there. Right above his ear, there's little white spots. There, needs to go. One above that needs to go. Sometimes when you're doing portraits of people, you have to clean them up. And that would be definitely one that I would do. Okay, so now going back down, if you, this was called, I'm sorry, what was the title again?
Passion.
Passion. I didn't feel passion with this. I felt like he zipped up behind her real quick, and then she was like, oh, kind of, who's behind me kind of thing. Talk to your people and give them that feel. Keep doing it until you get that actual feel of what you want. I know when I do a lot of this, I go in and I look at a lot of pictures. I look at hands. I look at fingers. I look at how they're where they should put them at. So I think you need to work on that and study that a little bit more. I want to say, can you zoom in on his bow tie for me? Because I didn't. Oh, okay, it's nothing. I'm sorry. I thought to see the line on his shirt. I thought from a distance it looked like a string from his bow tie, but it's not. So, but I like the area that they're at, and maybe this needs to be. I don't know. I would like to see more of it down to the feet, or higher up above his hands. Okay.
Misfit toy.
Well, you're going to think I'm crazy. I have a collection of dinosaurs that usually go with me when I go places, and I take pictures like this. So this made me giggle when I saw it. I'm like, oh, so I'm not the only one that does this. So I think it's called Misfit, I think, right?
Misfit toy. Yeah,
Okay.
misfit toy.
So, yeah, because I think part of the dinosaur's nose has been broken off or something, but they got it out in the snow, and they got snow on top, and it's got the little water drop on it. But if you take your hand up and cover up that whole left-hand side, we know he's out in the snow. You see it's white down there at the bottom, but do you really need all of that for this one little dinosaur? I personally don't think so. I think I would get rid of all of that, and I would love just to see him there, because I'm over there constantly looking on the left. Is there something over there? It's just too much, I think, for this composition. I think it needs to just be him, and you'll have a little bit of it in front of him. And that's all you need. And he's cute as a button.
Yellow velvet beetle.
Okay. And I love some bugs. So I'm looking at this picture, and I'm like, the flowers are very pretty. The one on the right is a little bit dark. The one on the left is up in the corner is like out of the picture. So your picture is pretty much right there in the middle. The green stem that's coming from the left-hand side is like in my view. I keep looking at that and I'm like, what I want to look at is this cool looking bug. So can you zoom in for me just a little bit? Pretty please. There you go. That's what I want to see. A little bit more of the antenna on the left-hand side. Maybe shifted a hair to the right. Yeah, you want to get the bug in the picture with the yellow and a little bit of the lavender. You don't need 3 flowers in this. You want the bug. That's it right there. Maybe crop a little bit off on the right, and that's it. That's all you need to do. I don't care about anything except that cool looking bug. Nice find, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. But see the difference if you go in there and see just that versus seeing all this other, because you want everyone to look at the bug. I don't want to see all this other stuff. I don't. Just want to look at your bugs. All right, somebody has been to Savoy.
Ghost ride.
Pardon?
Ghost ride.
Ghost ride, yes. Very sleek, very clean. Love shooting at this place. The color of the lighting. You can get these in really good areas to take some really cool pictures. The only thing that I would have done different with this one, I would have worked it a little bit. The tip of the car, I would remove that. You see up here in the tip, right in the front of the car. Nope. On the right hand side. Nope. Yep, that's it. That should go. Move it over, and then I'm thinking, because I know how this place is. There's a lot of people sometimes. It seems like we're squished over there on the left hand side with the on the car, and everything else is just it's just, you could slide down that car. It's so pretty. But I feel like I needed just a little bit more space up there next to that window. And then get rid of that one. If you just put your finger up there and cover up that top, that makes a big difference. But then if you had just a little bit more, and there could have been somebody close by. I want to say somewhere I saw a reflection, but it's real small because I zoomed in on it, but maybe not. But I love the little blue in there and the red and the little lights, all that. I think that really looks cool on this, but I would have probably just give it a little bit more room, and just a cool shot. Love that place. Okay.
Letting go.
All right. I'll be honest with you. I missed this shot. This is a very interesting shot. Very creative. Love what you found, how you saw it. I played with this thing for, I don't know, 30 minutes. I went, oh, there are so many pictures in this picture here. You can crop this out. You can take this picture and do an entire exhibit on it. That's how cool this picture is. That's really about it. Sometimes I like the white border at the top, and sometimes I like it a little bit shorter. But either way, this is such a cool shot, and I love the way it made the houses look, sort of that warpy looking view, and the red borders on each side makes it stand out, and even the reflection in there where you see the front of the emblem in that red. Just a cool shot all around. Fun place to go.
Yeah, I'll announce the winners now.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how many people have left the building?
One.
You've kept most of the folks here,
Yeah,
so
they're
you're
still
not
there.
boring us to death or anything.
Oh.
And the comments are just so positive about your constructive criticism, if you can even call it criticism. Just the tips that you're giving are awesome. So thank you very much.
You say that to everybody. No, I just I like to spend a lot of here's the thing. You spend a lot of time taking these pictures. You spend a lot of time, cropping your pictures, deciding your pictures. And I think the least I can do is give you as much time studying your picture. Because that's what we're all here for, right?
Honorable mention, Scuffle by Charlie Stannard. Honorable mention, Sawblade by Melissa Moody. Honorable mention, Letting Go by Pat Fahey. In third place, I Am Watching You by Phyllis Westland. In second place, Iguazu Falls by Paul Schumack. In first place, Eruption by Paul Schumack. Paul, if you're there.
Yes, this was the 2021 eruption in Iceland near Grindavik. And I was so close. I was shot this with a 46 millimeter focal length, and it's not cropped. I'm on a hill that's the closest, top of the hill that's closest to it. And to get there, I hiked 2 hours, and it is right after sunset, but it is 11:40 p.m.
Wow. Well, I will tell you, you singed my eyebrows and my eyelashes when I opened up this picture. It's really amazing. It's an amazing shot.
Thank you. I used a slow shutter speed of a third of a second to get the lava trails like that.
Yeah, I saw that on the left and the top. Very cool. Is that the glow off the at the top with the smoke?
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. Wow. Yeah, it looks like you're just standing right there. Amazing.
Congratulations, Paul. Thank you.
Well, Janet, I want to thank you very much for all the time and effort you spent on this. Your comments are fabulous, very, very helpful.
Well,
And
thank
I want
you.
to remind folks that the next competition is, in fact, the theme people. So if you want to take some of your people shots and rework them, that's a possibility. And the deadline is January 29th, which is 3 weeks from today.